Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tosin for those that are new here. And today's video, as you could have seen from the title, I'm going to be talking about money tips during wedding planning. I know like this is wedding season, we're in December and a lot of people are getting married this month, or at least planning to get married next year. So I was just thinking to myself that how time flies, that this time last year I was having my own wedding party, and I tried to be as financially responsible as possible. I tried to ensure that everything went according to plan, and of course I learned so much during that process as well. So I just thought to myself, you know what, I went on Instagram a few days ago and I posted a picture and I put some posts up, and a lot of people resonated with me. Some of my posts, I'm going to try and slip them here. I talked about how you should save for your wedding, don't spend your entire life savings on your wedding, and I'm just going to talk about everything and more in this video. So if you'd like to know more, definitely keep watching. Okay, so first things first, I have a list that I already prepared for you, so I'm not just going to be talking from the air. I'm going to talk about based on what I've actually thought about and I've written down. So the first thing I'd like to discuss is ensure that when you're planning your wedding, you look at your financial situation. How much do I have? How much does my husband have? And how much you have is totally different from how much you're willing to spend. And how much your parents have is totally different from how much they're willing to spend as well. So for instance, your father can actually be a millionaire and he could have, let me say, 300 million naira cash savings. But guess what? He's only willing to spend 5 million naira on your wedding. So I'm not going to put that in pounds, or I'm going to try and put that in pounds rather, just so that people that are from other cultures understand the currencies I'm talking about. So let's say your father has 100,000 pounds in the bank and he's only willing to spend 30,000 pounds on your wedding. So you have to look at those scenarios. You have to look at the people that are in your life, people that are willing to contribute to your wedding, and how much they are willing to spend. So on assumptions, I want you to take out your time and actually think, well, my husband or my future husband or my fiance is just a young person, it's just a young guy, or even if he's an older man, whatever the case may be with your own scenario, this is probably how much he has to spend on the wedding. So I don't want to be cliche and say, cut your coat according to your size, but I'd like to say, let your taste curb your taste. Let your taste be in accordance to your financial capacity. Right? So that maybe like the entire budget for your wedding is 7 million. There's no point spending 2 million naira on special effects. There's no point spending, 800,000 naira on a dress when that that's literally spending almost maybe say 40% of your budget on just your outfits. So that's one thing I want you to actually just think about as I'm speaking to you and you're an intending bride. How much do you think maximum are my parents willing to spend? And have these conversations with them. Don't be assumptuous. Like during my wedding, I actually had a meeting with my dad and my mom, and they sat and told me to say, okay, draw up your budgets. Let's know what you want, where we can meet you on, or how much we're willing to pay for your wedding, or how much we are willing to support you with the wedding, and also what are the in-laws contributing. Let us know. So I think that leads me to my second point, which is don't just go with the wind, have a budget. I know it's so cliche, but trust me, a lot of brides, I have a lot of friends that have gotten married and are even getting married now, that they actually have no clue. They just want all the nice things. They want all the things that when they go on Instagram, they're from the best vendors. But the truth is, I'm not even going to lie to you, I'm going to be so real with you. Some of these best vendors, their work is actually really great. You can't afford it. Do you understand? I have a very good friend that during her wedding, Ashoke was so beautiful. Ashoke is the traditional attire that Nigerians wear. And I was just saying that, wow, this is so stunning. And she told me that she wanted to get that same thing from a popular vendor, and the vendor charged her twice the price. So her mom went to somewhere, I think in Kwara State or something like that, and they actually got the same thing for cheaper. And doesn't mean that the more expensive vendor is a rip-off. It just means that the person, it's like buying Dolce & Gabbana compared to Zara. You know what I mean? Even if maybe both of them, their factories in Thailand or whatever, or wherever, or Singapore, it's just the name. So the person has worked hard to build their name there. So they're not only just charging you for what you're wearing, they're also charging you for the brand. So and I mean, if you're planning for your wedding, you're watching this video, for you to be watching this video, I believe that you are actually, planning your wedding on a budget. I don't believe that you just, you have the financial freedom to spend like, $300,000 on your wedding. If you did, you wouldn't even be watching my videos. So I'm assuming that everyone watching this video is planning their wedding on a budget like I did. So that's that. And I know that when people hear the word budget and they may be like, but my parents are wealthy or I'm wealthy, why do I have to spend on the budget? There's this thing that, my husband always says, is that the thing that kills the black man or the African race especially is that they feel like because you have it, you must spend it. And I actually agree, it's true. You know that you can be, you can have 50 million in your account as a young girl, and you are not willing to spend 1 million naira on a dress. Because you have it doesn't mean you should spend it. So that's one thing. So even if you have the money and you have the capacity to spend the money, doesn't mean that that's what you want to spend on your wedding. You might consider it frivolous, and that's how a lot of our parents are. So that's two things I want to talk about. So another tip is, before you make any decisions, before you book any vendor, is to get a record keeping book. Now this doesn't have to be physical. During my own wedding, mine was an Excel sheet. I love Excel. Everyone that knows me knows I love Excel. And impute, I think there's a master list that goes around. I think someone shared one with me. I'll ask her permission if I could share with everyone that's interested, and if she says yes, I would have put it in the description box, or probably my Google Drive, or if you can mail me, I'll mail it to you if she agrees for me to share it with you. The master list is just every expense that you have for a standard, let me say, African wedding. So from the alaga iduros to the halls, to the venue, to the cars, to the venue, to desserts, to bouncers, to ushers, to everything. You need those things, the things that you need, just for you to just impute the cost or your own budget there. So you just put all the items, and then you enter your prices. Some of them come with like estimates, and your own budget may be higher or lower based on how you enter that into the document. So with that document, that really helped me a lot, because I was able to, it was so I was able to go on my phone and pull it up. So when I make inquiries and say, how much is desserts for 300 people, and you tell me per person I'm going to pay 1,005, I'll be like, thank you. And if I call another vendor and the vendor says maybe 1,000, and you're offering similar services, I already know in my head that, okay, this is what my budget was. This is what vendor A is saying. This is what vendor B is saying. So on the Excel sheet, you can actually put tabs of my budget and all the inquiries you've made and the one you decided to go with individually. So you can actually do that. So that's that. So with the record keeping, it ensures that you're not just spending anyhow. By the time you have put at the top of the page that your budget for this wedding is 5 million naira or 10 million naira or 20 million naira, or however you're willing to spend, and you started imputing things, and you can see that you've not even sorted out 50% of the things, but you're already spending over 6 million. Then you realize that, you need to slow it down. But then if you're just paying for stuff, you're using your credit card, you're using based on loans that you got from people, and that's a no-no, but I'll touch on that later. You would see that you won't be able to, monitor how much you spent, because you don't have anything that is actually showing you how much you spent and how much you have left. So that's that. Another thing also I want to talk about is, do not rely on the money that you're going to be sprayed at your wedding. I don't know why Nigerians do this. I think it's an African culture that obviously at weddings, they spray you money. People spray 200 naira notes, 500 naira notes, 1,000 naira notes, depending on how, influential the guests that you have are, depending on the kind of crowd that you pull. That kind of depends the amount of money that you be sprayed. Some people get sprayed in foreign currencies and all that. But I tell you, see, even if your father is the Oba of Lagos, even if your father is the Prime Minister, whoever your parents are, even if your husband, the person you're married, is one of the, is on Forbes list, do not depend on the money that you are going to get sprayed at your wedding. I'm going to be very honest with you. During my wedding, maybe because a lot of people knew that, we lived abroad, myself and my husband, a lot of people gave us like checks, cash, envelopes, people transferred money to our account. I mean, the world is a global village. So even if we got sprayed money, because I think it's just the Yoruba, Nigerian culture, when I got to the hotel with my husband and we counted all the money and everything with my brothers, it was a lot of money. I'm not going to lie to you. I was grateful, but it wasn't money that I was like, oh my God. It wasn't money that changed my life. It wasn't money that, in all honesty, that I've never seen before. It wasn't money that I was like, okay, so this money now is going to pay for our 1 year's rent. No, it wasn't money like that, to be honest. Because by the time they're spraying you to 200 naira notes, 500 naira notes, even 1,000 naira notes, naira is weak. It can only amount to that much. And even if they spray you dollars, except they spray you Benjamins, like $100 bills, if they're spraying you $1 notes, by the time you count everything, how much really is it for the average Nigerian wedding? So I have a friend that is what would I call her? She's an event planner and a decorator, and she told me that she was actually booked for a wedding, and she asked the bride for 80% down payments, which they always do before the wedding, and the person said she will pay them with the money they spray them at the wedding, and she was like flabbergasted, and she decided not to take the job. And thankfully, the bride's personal events planner actually called my friend and told her that thank God you didn't take up the job, because apparently People didn't get as much money as expected. A lot of vendors that agreed to that were actually fighting at the venue, and they seized the bride's and groom's car. So I mean, not like I don't wish anyone bad. I know that probably won't happen to you by God's grace, but I just feel like it's just unwise to, you know, plan your life based on something that you haven't received. Money that it's uncertainty. Why would you plan your life or book people based on uncertainties? Another thing I want to talk about also in wedding planning tips is that, you know what, get an event planner that is reasonable or that you can relate with. I choose my words carefully. I had an event planner that I was able to, you know, talk with. I told her, see, me, I'm an accountant. I don't have time to be paying. No, I don't have time. I just think it's frivolous to be paying this amount and that amount, or so and so. And she totally understand. A lot of people think, you know, having an event planner is a luxury. I don't think so. I think they take a lot of stress off of you, and there are lots of affordable ones. It's just a lot of people want to get event planners that are, you know, popular, that they've planned bigger events, and kudos to them, good job to them. But you don't want an event planner that you're going to be treating like a celebrity. Nobody wants that. You don't want an event planner that you're even afraid to tell her that, see, I only have 500k left for, let me say, desserts and cocktails. And she's telling you, oh, why don't you book, you know, this top person and that person? And you can't even tell her, sis, I've blown my budget. I only have 500k left for all these things and they must be done. You know, you want an event planner that you can be very honest with. And I know it sounds very cheesy, but trust me, it's good to have event planners that, you know, that even the event planners, they are driving Range Rovers. It's all well and good, but I feel like those people are actually good for, you know, really corporate events or large, extremely large weddings that, you know, that even for you to even call them, you can actually afford them. So there's no point that, you know, that your wedding is literally maybe just a certain budget and your event planner is going to be charging you 10% of your wedding budget. Like, for real, you can't afford that. And to be honest, even if you can't afford that, like, it's an expense that you can avoid. So that's another thing. Another solid tip that actually really helped me during my wedding was to prioritize my needs versus my wants. So what was priority to me? My own wedding, my priority was, you know, ensure that my guests were well fed, ensure that, you know, the live band was sorted because I wanted to dance, and I wanted my photographer to be really good as well. So those were things that I wasn't willing to be, you know, too frugal on. I wanted the best, and I wanted everything to, you know, look great. I wanted to be happy. It's my wedding, and I had the things that were just wants. I didn't care about 500 balloons falling on my head. I didn't care about any spinning fireworks. Yes, they make pictures look beautiful, but those were not priorities for me. Yes, I wanted my guests to eat well. Yes, I wanted them to be well fed, but I didn't need them to, you know, eat to stupor. They did not need to have a 10-course meal. I did the basics, small chops, a 3-course meal, regular meal, lots of options. I did desserts, and I think my relatives had, like, you know, what do you call it, ewa going. People did all those things for us. So personally, that wasn't our responsibility for myself and my husband. So those were priority to me. Everything else to me was just frivolous. It was just I did not need to wake up in the most expensive hotel in Lagos. I did not need that. In fact, to be very honest with you, the hotel that I booked was so close to the event center. I didn't, because there was a lot of fuel scarcity during my wedding, and I didn't want to be stuck in Lekki Phase 1 while my wedding was going on in another part of Lagos. I didn't want to do that. So I got a hotel that was very close to the venue, and the hotel I got, it was decent, it was nice. My bridesmaids slept well, the ACs were working fine, my suite was nice, my husband's suite was nice, everywhere my brother slept was good. And I think for each room I paid about, let me say, 25k per room. And I'm sure on the mainland there are probably even cheaper hotels. It's probably just because I was on the island, but my own room was obviously more expensive because I got the biggest room in the hotel because I knew people would be there, and I didn't want to be choked. But I did not need to wake up in, you know, a hotel that one room is 100k per night. For me personally, I didn't need a room that, you know, if I woke up in the morning it would look like, oh wow, behold the sun. I didn't need that. It was just sleep for me. So I was actually content with that room. Everyone was happy, and I was so happy because it was literally, like, as I said, 5 minutes or 10 minutes drive to the venue. So that's that. Another way that I save money for my wedding and may not be priority to you is by the car that I use to the venue. Like, I'm not going to lie to you guys. You don't need a stretch Hummer to go to your venue. You don't need a limousine. You don't need a G-Wagon. Like, I know that it looks nice in pictures and all that, but trust me, those are not, for me, it wasn't a need. It was just, it wasn't even a want, because I'm just like, that's a whole lot of waste of money. I probably would not do it for anybody, pay like 200k for the whole day to use the car. That money could pay for, I mean, do you know how many goods I could buy with that 200k? That's just me, and that's just the businesswoman in me thinking. It wasn't an expense for me that I was willing to, you know, spend And trust me, to some people, 200k is probably chicken change. If someone had said, oh, maybe Tosin, let me gift that to you, I probably would have said, nope, keep your money, give it to me. You can save half of that money by just looking for alternatives. I'm going to be real with you guys because this video is about saving money. During my own wedding, I was driven in my car to the hall. That was what I used to the hall. And I did not die. My dress did not tear. I didn't look ugly. I was still looking pretty. My husband did not, like, no one noticed. It's so irrelevant. Like, it's only good for paps. It's good for paparazzi. It's good for pictures. But it adds no value to your wedding. Let me say it again. Getting a limousine adds no value to your wedding or marriage. Like, it's irrelevant. So if you're looking for ways to save money, that's a way you can. I drive a white Maxima. Like, maybe I'll look for a picture of my car and put it. Very basic, not even a luxurious car. A basic Nissan car. And that's what I used to my wedding. And I was fine, you know. So that's another way you can, you know, save money if you're willing to save money like me. Just get a decent car, a Camry or whatnot. Even after the wedding, when my car was beginning to use to carry stuff, we went back in another Camry that my husband's family had gotten. A nice Camry was decent. In fact, I slept like a baby in the car because there's a little bit of traffic after the event. And we're fine. I think I'm happy after my marriage. The car did not change anything. So that's another way you can save money. Let's, to that point, is, you know, prioritizing what your need and your wants. For you, it might be to have a very one dress, you know, a dress that probably after that wedding is useless. You can't even, the resale value in Nigeria is not even so high because no one is willing to pay that much. Or it might be for you to have the best makeup artist in Lagos. Maybe, you know, use 500k to do your makeup. I knew that I wasn't going to pay that much money for my makeup. I just knew. I got to a point where I even told my event planner that I'm going to do my makeup myself if I didn't get any makeup that was affordable. No, I'm just not going to pay that much money to do my makeup. I'm just not going to. That's just me. Yours may be totally different. You know, this is just me. So for my makeup, to the glory of God, we got gifted by one of my lovely aunties of House of Tara. So House of Tara, shout out to you. They did my makeup for free and I was so grateful for the opportunity. So that's another thing I knew, that if they didn't come through, I wasn't going to pay for. I would have done it myself. So that's that. You know, let me not even use myself as an example. Just think about yourself. What's important to you? Some people want to wear loops for their wedding. Some people don't mind wearing Dune. I wore a brand that is here. I think the shoes were 70 pounds and they were beautiful. I'm going to put the brand here. It was a gift from my cousin. She bought it for me. My traditional shoe was from Dune. You can decide to wear, you know, anything you want to wear. I felt like the shoes weren't going to show. It was just in pictures. I just got something really beautiful. As I'm talking to you, I'm going to be putting the pictures here so you can see that. When you're on a budget, it's not bad. And trust me, even as I'm saying this, I'm just saying people will be like 70 pounds for a shoe. They only have 10k. And that's fine. Like, know your budget and work with it. So that's another way to save money. Prioritize your expenses. Prioritize your wants versus what you really need, and you'll be fine. Another great way to, you know, save money for your wedding is to DIY when you can. Like, there's a lot of things I did. Like, if you're like, you know, really good, and I feel like there's, see, people, human beings, I think to an extent we're limitless with the way what we can do with our hands. You don't need to get like a gift concierge to do your bridal train package. You know, just plan ahead. I did a full video talking about my bridal train package, what I did for my girls. I spent a lot of money on that because I really wanted them to feel special. I was grateful for them being on my train. So I didn't just start like 2 days before the wedding. I'd been planning it months before. So I was buying things in piecemeal. Today I bought the eye pencil. The other day I bought the robe. And like that, it was so worth the while. And by the time I packaged it, it looked like a gift concierge actually put it together. So that's another way you can save money, by DIY. I did my bouquet myself. I went to Lagos Market, I bought the lilies, I wrapped it and I put a bow, and I was content with that. You may want fresh flowers and that's fine, but this is what I did and this is how I saved money during my wedding. So there are a lot of things that, you know, like you can save money on. In fact, I think I'm such a DIY person. My introduction, which is like a preamble to the main wedding, I did the decor myself with 4 friends. I'm going to put the name of the event planner of the decor company that I got everything I used from. I'll just like see, why am I going to pay somebody extra 200k just to put things together? Let me just go online, find my theme and rent everything. I rented everything. I think everything I rented was like maybe 300 and something k. And I did the decor myself on the morning of the intro, and it was beautiful. I had so many compliments. People were asking who my decorator was. I couldn't do the draping, so I got the lady in my church that does the draping for the backdrop. You know, standard Nigerian church now with draping. I got her, I just gave her a gift for thank you for coming, and it was beautiful. During my intro, I took my time before the wedding. I got all the things I needed. We did the decor. I think we started the decor by 5 a.m. In fact, it was about to rain. I just prayed to God. I said, God, all this effort that I've put into, getting these items is not going to be futile. It must come to pass. And the rain stopped. Actually, God held the rain on our behalf. And in fact, my family friend said it was raining everywhere else. But as soon as I started approaching my house area in Nigeria, everything was fine. So we did the decor, my paper cards. I wanted menu cards. Like, if you know me, I love details. I like the finer things in life. Like, I like details, I like thoughts, and I ensured I wanted my guests to, have the 5-star experience without me spending the five-star money. So the cards, I just got a local printer. I did my design on Canva, spoke with my caterer before, which was my mom and her friends, for the intro, and we taught all the menu, the desserts. When I was in the UK, I had bought disposable plates. And I think one important factor that I want you to, have in mind as I'm doing this video is, don't plan your wedding on a rush. If you do, you will spend money. There's no how. If you plan your wedding at a rush, you would never save. You will just be spending when you don't need to, because you won't be spoiled for choice. You won't have the luxury of time to be doing any mini money mode. You just have to pick the next best thing. And we don't want that. I wanted like acrylic dessert containers. I wanted acrylic cutleries. All those things are expensive in Nigeria, but in the UK they are so cheap. So when my husband was coming to Nigeria for the wedding, I just shopped everything to the house and he brought them to Nigeria. All our cutleries for the intro, the plates that we used to serve the cake. For the cake that we served, I went to ShopRite. I went to ShopRite. I have one really nice cake. I think at the time of my wedding was 1,009. I bought about maybe say 6 pieces of that because we're expecting about just 100 people. 6 of that. I bought whipped cream. I bought loads of ice cream. I bought servers. I bought napkins. Everything. The tables were set. We had candy jars. I went to this party shop in Ikoyi. It's called, I think, Party Lux. I bought all my, frames. All the cute details that I wanted for the table. I bought pearls from eBay. In fact, I know that no decorator could have given me that much value I wanted for the budget that I had. So I knew that I just had to do them myself because I'm not charging myself manpower. So I just took like 4 of my friends. We set up the table. It was stunning. We rented how do you pronounce? Shivari chairs. If I'm not the glass-like chairs. I'm gonna put a picture here. Stunning. My friend Shola gifted us a backdrop with myself and my husband's picture. We saved so much money. My intro, what I wanted when I spoke to someone for the budget, they charged me almost, I think maybe 2 or 3 million naira for the introduction. You guys, plus food, plus decor, plus my outfit, and I looked really nice for my outfit. Everything, my husband's clothes, because we had that made in Nigeria. We spent just a little bit over 1 million naira, and trust me, that was a bargain for the quality that we got. So think out of the box. If you think you've already set your dates now and you're not able to do all these things that I can do, if you haven't paid for the hall, my sister, move it. Move the wedding. Save yourself stress. Spend more time. Think. Use your hands. Use your brain. It's a wedding, not a carnival. You will be all right. Yeah. So that's another way I think you can save money. Now, just in totality, just some things I want to talk about just before I leave this video, so this video is not too lengthy. I hope by God's grace you have been able to learn some things from all the things that I've shared. Is that, don't get into debt for your wedding. I put a post on my Instagram, just talking about ways to save money, and someone told me how she saved money. She said instead of getting a professional suya maker, she got someone in her estate that makes suya. Instead of getting bully and fish, a special restaurant to do it, she got the lady that makes bully on her street. She bought the plantain by herself. She only paid the person workmanship of 3K. I'm going to insert the screenshot here as I'm talking, so you can just actually pause, read the girl's episode, how she made money, and learn from me. It's like, all the glitters is not gold. Like, you can just go on Instagram and convert someone's outfit. My Ashoke outfit was made by the best Ashoke maker in Nigeria, and she's a relative. I literally paid next to nothing for that Ashoke. It was a gift, and someone can see that and now be like, oh, I love that, so I'm going to pay so much for it. Like, I'm not saying don't patronize them, but cut your code according to your size. You don't know if this person was a gift. You don't know if the limo was a gift. You don't know if the person used their hands. You will now go and be using the person's cloth to run your own race. It's only you that will be broke. So, don't go into debt for your wedding. Don't rely on the money they spray you. Just don't do it. Don't blow out your life savings for a wedding. After the wedding, there's a lot of expenses. Do you know I spent so much money after my wedding? For instance, I had to pay for tickets. Let me say we had to pay for tickets to come back to the UK. We had to pay for a lot of stuff. I'm not British. My husband is British. I had to do all the, the application cost, which cost us over almost another 2 million to do my, residency permit and everything here. I shared that in another video. So many things you're going to pay for, and if you have blown everything in your wedding, you'll now be stranded. You need to decorate your house. All these things on my backdrop in my room, it didn't fall from the sky. I paid for them with my money. So during my wedding, I already told God that, you know what, Tosin, this is your account balance. Let me say my account balance is £100, for instance, and I say, God, my minimum threshold is £60. Whatever I spend, I must not pass £60, and that helped me so much. I told God, I have so in my account. I'm not going to touch my work account. I'm going to touch my business money, my personal savings, and this is all I'm going to spend from it. And to the glory of God, I'm so glad that God honored that. After my wedding, I was still like this. I didn't feel like I was broke. I didn't feel like I'd spent my life savings. In fact, after the wedding, all my uncles that couldn't make it that were sending me money, I was like, all right, then thank you for reimbursing my expenses. So I was very, very happy with that. But please, I beg, if you haven't taken anything from this video, just take this. You can have a beautiful, intimate union. And trust me, if your parents are not willing to spend how much you want them to spend, you cannot afford it, your husband's family are not able, cut down your guest list. Don't be sentimental. Tell your parents, this is the quality and standard that I want. I know it's easier said than done, but I mean, you just have to develop a good relationship with your parents before your wedding, so you don't fall out with them because they have the money and they probably have the say. Cut down the guests. Instead of inviting 800 people, invite 400 people that will feel like they're in Paris, that will feel like they're in a luxurious event center, and inviting 1,000 people and it's an absolute chaos. We don't want that. So yeah, I really hope that this video has been helpful. I hope that every point I mentioned, you're actually going to not just listen and be like, good one to say. Please implement it. If you have friends that you know that they can implement this, tell them, send this link to them, let them implement it so that they don't, you know, a lot of marriages are it's just ridiculous. Like, do you know, the other day I put on my Insta story about this this topic that I was going to film on, and I was just telling everyone that this was my next video, and a lot of people shared so many things with me about how they were in debt after their wedding. They wish they knew better, and I'm like, God, do you know that if you're in debt and you're crying or you're not able to pay your vendors after your wedding, no one will be there to heal your hashtag. Nobody will be there to be saying bailing 2018. You cannot even tell them your predicaments. Because the people that you're doing so much to impress will be the ones say, babe, how far now? Who borrows for their wedding? Nimu. But they had expectations of you that they knew that you couldn't even fulfill. You could not financially fulfill. Do you understand what I'm saying? So please, at the end of the day, the marriage is more important than your wedding. I know that everyone wants a fairy tale wedding. See, I have people that had horrible weddings, and as God will have it, 10 years down the line, when their marriage was blissful, they redid another one. I made up for the time past. I watched a story on Instagram, or I read a story on Instagram actually, that her husband proposed to her with I think a $40 wedding, and today our ring is going in 6 figures because they cut their code according to their size then, and now it's not a financial burden for him to bless her with something that he thinks she's worthy of. You know what I mean? So I mean, think about I know people say, oh, if my boyfriend should propose to me with a ring less than 1 million naira, you are not serious. You are not serious. I'm not going to go deeper into that, but see, marriage, you're having a wedding for a marriage, not the other way around. You are having a wedding for a marriage. You're not having a marriage for a wedding. So why would you twist up your priorities? Like, set your priorities straight. In fact, I wish that I could even open the brains of some parents and wonder why they indulge their children into frivolous expenses when they've not even asked the child, are you happy? Is your spouse beating you? I just feel like, you know, when you see the decadence of the institution of marriage, that's why there's so much ado about the wedding and people are actually spending less time on the marriage. So before I keep going on and just saying that I'm talking from a rant, I'm talking from experience. You don't want to be broke after your wedding. You don't want not to be able to, you know, purchase utensils, buy good, nice quality cooking pan that will spend you £80, but you know that pan will last you for 5 years. You don't want not to be able to do that. So yeah, I rest my case. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if this video like hit a nerve with you. You totally understood what I was saying. Please leave your comments below if you're an ex-bride. Not an ex-bride. Everybody's a bride of Christ and a bride of their husband. If you're a former, you know, wedding bride, let us know how you saved money for your wedding. And even if you made bad decisions, let us know in the description box so that in the comment box, so that other people that are watching this video can actually learn and say that, you know what, this person made this mistake. I'm not going to do that. We don't need to learn by making mistakes. We don't need to learn by having scars. We can learn from the scars of other people. You know what I mean? So thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you like this video, you share, you subscribe, and you leave a comment. You can tell I did this video from my heart. So yeah, until next time, stay blessed. Bye bye.